Hello, this Common Man Adventure video blog, this week's, I think it's my 12th, is called Life Happens. When I began this blogging adventure, I wasn't sure exactly how long it was going to continue. I've not hadn't done anything like that before, blogging. I'm not sure what the audience is. I have people who like it. I've got some followers. Just not sure what direction the blog is going to go in. I've had done some blogs on getting older. I've done some blogs on about Aztec. I don't have him anymore. I have a new horse, Danny. Done some blogs with him. I've done blogs on horseback. In the future, I've got a blog planned on, well, my brother's coming, and I don't know if he knows it or not, but he's going to participate in one of them. We're going to talk about karaoke, one of his passions. I've had some things that have changed in my life. I've actually have a visit that I'm with a healthcare physician. I've actually got him involved in the blog. We're going to do a blog with him later. So I'm just going to keep this going for a while and see what happens. Hope it finds some interest with some people. If you have any suggestions on things that you'd like me to try to tackle, certainly I'd do that. I've done some history as well. But I was reminded a little while ago that I began a blog, actually a trailer for a new book that's coming up. I started the trailer in, I don't know, the first of the year, and in it I said that I was going to give a sample of what's in the book, and then the blog stopped, the video stopped. So I'm going to take it from there again. The name of my new book is called Life Happens, which is the name of this particular week's blog. I've been struggling with it. I have it's in the computer. It's done. It's ready to go. I just have to send it to the publisher. I'm kind of struggling with what publisher I'm going to send it to. In fact, I have a note on my desk that don't work on it anymore. There's always a danger when you start a project like writing and you get it done and you keep working on it. At some point, you just have to say it's done, because otherwise it winds up not being a very good project. But the name of the new book is called Life Happens. Been struggling with the cover. The cover I had before, I was going to get rid of it, but I can't let it go. So I've redesigned the cover a little bit, and this is what it's going to look like. It's done something like this, I think. Life happens. You don't have to be rich and famous to have adventures. The premise behind it is, as one goes through life, adventures happen, good, bad, or mediocre. It's what we do with them that matters. You know that life is more than just breathing. It's also being aware of your surroundings, learning from them, and responding to them. And as long as we're able to take a breath, life is experienced. It's not simple, and it is complicated, and no two lives are the same. So this book is kind of written adventures around life. Some of them are factual, some of them are partly factual, some of them are completely made up. I'm leaving it up to the reader to decide which is which. And here's some of the titles of the adventures: Dark and Stormy Night, The Brave 18, War Games, The Greatest Hunter, Halloween Cowboys, Nuts, Martha and Buttermilk, The Champions, Eye of the Beholder, Nuts. I think I just said that. Recruits, The Great Escape, Secret Ingredient, Crap. Yep, Crap. Smith & Wesson. Yep. The weapons, Smith & Wesson. Papa Top. Barnyard or Backyard Campout. Murder in the Classroom. Purple Leathers. The Legend of Melt Famous. The Genius Deer. The Chair. Special Bond. Hard Loss. It. What I've done with this book is my first two books were by a publisher that is no longer in business. They're not available anymore, but they were good books. And so I had a choice. I could either go ahead and republish the books. I own them and I have the rights to them, and I can just republish them with another publisher or not. I decided what I'd do is I'd take the best of those adventures in those two books, Common Man Adventures, and add some new ones and maybe tweak some of the other ones. So some of these, if you've read my other books, you may recognize. And I know some you won't because they've never been printed before. But I don't know when the book's going to come out. Like I said, I'm struggling with it. I just need to find a publisher. Eventually it'll come out. But here's an idea of one of the adventures in this book, and this particular adventure is called It. So here's an excerpt from that adventure. I somewhat understood its attachment to only me. I had dealt with it before, but not to this extent. I did not wish it onto the others. The mission would be better accomplished if I were the only one it attached itself to. CJ and I were ill prepared, though, for the cold. The higher we ascended the mountain, the colder the temperature. CJ expressed some discontent, but seemed little affected. The colder the expected temperature, my concern for the safety of my group, the successful fulfillment of the mission, and the unfortunate attachment of it to my psyche added a great deal of difficulty and stress to my desire to see the mission through. Could I find a legitimate reason to end the ascent to the top? No. The ascent had begun. There was absolutely no turning back now. We all expected what we were seeking at the top would be worth the long travel. My party believed even the occasional halts and upward ascension would make the travel worth the climb to the top. But I was dealing with it and battling it. Did I have the ability to fight it off? I had my doubts. After all, many things could go wrong. Equipment failure or someone falling during the ascension up the mountain were possibilities. Failure to succeed the mission, though, would have serious consequences, not only for me, but my party. I had to fight on. I thought about God throughout our journey to the top of the mountain. I certainly needed His help in my battle with it. God provides us with a wonderful tool, the human brain. Each brain is different, and each affects the body in different ways. CJ noticed my hands were shaking, and she knew it was not just because I was cold. She knew I was dealing with it. My brain, a gift from God, had been attacked by it. God, I believed, gave us those brains to help us negotiate through the challenges of life. What challenges our brains negotiate through are different for each of us. That most likely explains my personal battle with it and why CJ was not in the same battle. Even though it kept creeping in, especially with the occasional halt and upward progress from somewhere in the back crevices of my brain, I was confident I would reach the top. God would not let me be unsuccessful. I was assured if I just kept up my fight with it, all around would be okay. If you want to find out what happened, you're going to have to wait until the book comes out. And I'll certainly let everybody know this particular book, like all my others, celebrates life through a series of adventures. And I know that, like the others, you're going to be able to identify with something or someone in it. And most likely, you're going to get a chuckle or two. It's pure entertainment. Most of my stuff is not meant to tax the brain. So, this is this week's video blog. As I said, it's called Life Happens. By the way, class of 68. I'm proudly wearing my shirt. We had a reunion in October. 68, class of 68, 50 years since I graduated high school. Boy, how life flies by. Well, until we have an opportunity to talk again, I'm going to sign off.